Have you experienced any issues recently in finding a new doctor? Well, if you have, there's a reason for that. There's currently a shortage of physicians in the United States, and unfortunately, it's only going to get worse. In this video, I'm going to go over why there's a shortage of physicians, as well as some possible solutions for you to consider on how you can be in charge of your own health and begin to feel better. The US is facing a physician shortage, which includes a significant lack of primary care providers. Now, projections show that there's a potential shortfall of more than 120,000 doctors that could be experienced by the year 2034. A McKinsey article came out in September of last year titled "The Physician Shortage Isn't Going Anywhere." And in this article, the authors state that one reason for the expected shortage is that some 20% of clinical physicians are age 65 years or older, putting organizations in the position to soon lose a substantial number of physicians to retirement. The expanding gap in the physician workforce is particularly consequential given the projected growth in patient demand. The number of people aged 65 and up, an inherently higher need patient group, is expected to rise to 23% of the population from 17% by the year 2050. Now, according to the same McKinsey and Company article, after surveying 631 physicians, over a third of them said that they are likely to leave their current roles within the next 5 years. And roughly 60% of them said that they're likely to leave clinical practice entirely. And this isn't simply limited to those doctors nearing retirement age. Doctors in the US have expressed an increased desire to leave their current jobs, but why? And more importantly, is there anything that can be done about it? Workload and lack of flexibility over their schedule are some of the reasons that doctors cite about wanting to leave their current role. Now, we all know that the workload in the United States can be intense compared to most other developed countries, and many doctors work more than 60 hours per week. Their intense patient caseload might explain why studies show that the average duration of a doctor's appointment is around 15 to 20 minutes. And actual talk time that patients spend with primary care doctors is less than 12 minutes, with about half of the time with the patient talking and the other half roughly spent by the doctor during the visit. In our current US medical system, doctors are expected to see a high volume of patients in a short amount of time. Now, is 15 to 20 minutes really enough time to get to the bottom of what might be causing your insomnia, your depression, your high blood pressure? Granted, some appointments, particularly those with specialists, are longer on average, but I think the average American would probably agree that more one-on-one time with the doctor could be beneficial. Judging by the research studies, it seems that US doctors would also appreciate more flexibility with their schedule, as well as time with their patients. But this is the US healthcare system we are talking about, and sadly, neither you nor myself can change it. Now, naturopathic and functional medicine practitioners like myself spend an average of 30 to 60 minutes with patients in follow-up visits. And with holistic medicine, we look at the whole person, looking not only at the physical body, but also the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a person. So we tend to spend more time in our appointments because it's a different way of approaching patient care than how conventional or traditional physicians go about it. Naturopaths focus on finding the root cause of disease and illness rather than prescribing something to treat the symptoms. What can the average American do, if anything, if they try to get an appointment with a new doctor only to be told that the wait could be several months or even longer? What can you do if you live in a rural area that doesn't have many primary care doctors, let alone specialists? Perhaps it's time to realize that while it may seem like it's a doctor's job to fix you, it really isn't. No one can or will take responsibility for your health but you alone. And this means listening to your inner guidance and perhaps spending a bit more time on your health, looking to the root cause rather than simply relying on a physician. He or she might not be there in the future. And even if you have a fantastic doctor, one who will listen to and consider your concerns when making recommendations, taking a holistic look at your lifestyle and gaining valuable information on your own and then presenting that to your doctor certainly cannot hurt. Now, most conventional physicians are not aware of botanical remedies, homeopathy, and the like. It's okay. It's just not how they were trained, right? Conventional medicine and naturopathic medicine differ both in their philosophies and in their approach. Traditional or conventional medicine views the body as a complex machine composed of various organs and systems, and disease is seen as a result of specific malfunctions or defects within these systems. As most of you are probably aware, conventional medicine focuses on diagnosing and treating symptoms and diseases using pharmaceuticals and surgical interventions to correct or manage the underlying issue. Naturopathy looks at the whole person, seeing the systems of the body as interconnected. For example, anxiety can often be aggravated by a gut imbalance, as the gut and the brain are connected via the vagus nerve. Naturopathic practitioners like myself look at holistic well-being and treat naturally using nutrition, homeopathy, botanical medicine, and lifestyle modification. Did you know that the word doctor originates from the Latin word docere, which means to show or to teach? One of my jobs as a naturopathic practitioner is to educate my clients about their condition, as well as explaining to them how and why I recommend certain treatments. I like to view myself as an educator and a partner in my clients' overall health and quality of life. And this can be quite different than going to, say, a conventional physician who might prescribe a medication without going into all the details of how the medication works. It's often up to the patient to inquire or research about side effects and other information. Naturopathy also focuses on preventing disease, not just treating it. Conventional medicine acknowledges the importance of prevention with vaccines and early detection protocols and so on, but the focus is still primarily on the diagnosis and treatment of existing conditions. Again, not bashing conventional medicine here, but merely trying to point out some of the differences. Now, some conventional doctors argue that because allopathic medicine, traditional medicine, is a scientific and evidence-based approach, it can be considered as more trustworthy than naturopathic medicine. But there is evidence-based research that shows that lifestyle changes like exercise, dietary changes, and certain botanical remedies can improve HbA1c levels in diabetics. Dietary changes, stress management techniques, and specific botanical and nutritional supplements can help support hormonal balance, reduce inflammation, and help women dealing with PCOS. And for those with cardiovascular disease, research has also shown that naturopathic interventions can help reduce blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, and improve overall cardiovascular health. Now, naturopaths can and do work with traditional doctors, and this is often why it is referred to as complementary and alternative medicine, especially within Europe. When I work with patients, I look at what medications their doctor has prescribed them, as well as their labs, and I try to work with the doctor to help the patient gain better overall holistic health. There can be differences, however, which is why some people are more open to conventional medicine, while others gravitate more towards naturopathic or functional medicine. Those who prefer conventional medicine might continue in that direction because they're looking for quick symptom relief from a medication, while those who prefer naturopathy and functional medicine are generally more willing to experience gradual changes over time, understanding the naturopathic treatment plan might take some time to truly heal the root cause of their condition. Now, the next time you're sick with the cold or flu, instead of calling up your doctor and setting an appointment and then going in for, say, an antibiotic, perhaps you could consider taking some oil of oregano once or twice daily and drinking some echinacea tea, or taking some zinc and elderberry, perhaps in lozenge form several times daily. If you're dealing with the flu, oscillococcinum which is a homeopathic remedy, has been shown to reduce the duration of the flu, as well as resting, eating a healthier diet, and drinking lots of fluids. Astragalus root has been around for more than 2,000 years in traditional Chinese medicine for building up the immune system. And it has a plethora of other benefits as well. I could literally do an entire video just on astragalus root alone. While I won't go into the mechanisms of how astragalus works in this video, I can tell you that in clinical trials and animal studies, astragalus has shown antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, hepatoprotective, anti-hyperglycemic, adaptogenic, and even anti-aging and anti-cancer effects. Now, antibiotics can and often do damage to the gut microbiome, which affects you both in the short and in the long term. Now, sometimes it can't be avoided, right? A while ago, I had a pretty bad dog bite, and I didn't want to take an antibiotic because it was a deep puncture wound and got infected. I ended up needing to take a course of Augmentin. However, knowing what I know about the gut microbiome and how antibiotics can affect the gut microbiome, I made sure to take a good pre and probiotic with my antibiotic regimen. And I continued to do this for months afterward, as it can take some time for the gut microbiome to recover from even one round of antibiotics. On average, it could take about 1 to 2 months, though for many people, it can take many months, depending upon your diet, your lifestyle, and your genetics. If you were to turn to functional medicine and stop relying solely upon conventional medicine, you just might discover the root cause of your illness and not only start feeling better, but also potentially avoid future health conditions that can arise because you're now dealing with the source of the issue rather than merely treating the symptoms. Our bodies are interconnected. So when we get a headache or rash, for example, it's actually our body's alarm system, its way of alerting us of an issue. Kind of like it's saying, hey, something isn't right here. I need you to pay attention and deal with this. And if we don't, our bodies often will alert us with stronger symptoms. You could go to your doctor, for example, if you're experiencing fatigue, not realizing that there could be a root cause to this fatigue. Now, if you've just not been sleeping well for a few days, it's pretty easy to figure out. You just need good restorative sleep, right? But if you've been sleeping well and you're still fatigued, this is definitely something that warrants testing and a comprehensive look at factors that could be driving this. Now, let's say you have insomnia where you're unable to get good night's rest. You could go to a primary care doctor and get put on trazodone or Ambien or some other pharmaceutical drug to help you sleep. Or perhaps you could visit a naturopathic practitioner like myself who would look at what is driving this insomnia. For example, are you getting enough light in the mornings? Believe it or not, getting proper sunlight or using a light box for at least 15 to 20 minutes in the mornings, roughly 12 hours before you want to go to sleep each night, can help reset your circadian rhythms and better regulate your sleep and wake cycle. Are you dealing with stress at work or at home, where you're ruminating at night and unable to calm your autonomic nervous system down? Do you have dietary sensitivities or gut health issues that could be causing you bloating or heartburn, for example, making it difficult for you to go to sleep? More and more people are turning to herbal supplements these days, and these can be an effective replacement in many cases to prescription medications, depending upon the condition and the severity. While I'm not advising you to stop taking prescribed medication and go out and try to find an herbal replacement on your own, it has, however, been my experience, especially here in the United States, that there can be an over-reliance upon physicians, basically taking whatever recommendation that they give as absolute truth and authority. And yes, conventional doctors have had years of education and training, but you know your own body better than they do. Now, because you're here watching this video, I believe that you are one of a growing number of individuals who are looking to take charge of their own health. A core principle of naturopathy is that the body has the ability to heal itself. Now, while my own viewpoint on this is that God is the healer, the great physician, who has enabled our bodies to alert us when something is wrong, and the right conditions to repair and to heal. God loves us. He wants us to take good care of our bodies. And I believe that armed with the right information, it's God working in you that ultimately heals and restores. Herbs have been used for thousands of years to support healing, long before prescription medications and allopathic medicine came to be. The ancient Israelites used various herbs and spices like cumin, cinnamon, frankincense, what we now call boswellia, as well as others for healing, often using poultices as described in 2 Kings 27, where Isaiah said, "Prepare a poultice of figs," applying it to King Hezekiah's boil. The king recovered after it was applied. Now, the king was extremely sick, and so some might say that it was supernatural healing. But in following the prophet Isaiah's instructions, Hezekiah found healing. Isaiah was a man of God. He listened to the Lord's leading. He followed his instructions. Now, is there anything that you're feeling led to do to experience true healing and transformation? Listening to that still small voice of God can lead us to greater health and vitality than we can ever experience on our own, sometimes bouncing from one doctor to another to find answers. God has all of the answers. We only need to seek him and to listen, as Isaiah and King Hezekiah did. Now, can the Lord speak through a doctor? Absolutely. I am not here to tell you to stop going to a conventional physician, merely to state that at the end of the day, your doctor is not responsible for your health. You are. It is your body given to you to take care of, and it is ultimately your responsibility. Many people these days are now turning to holistic medicine. I personally have felt led by the Lord ever since I was young to explore natural treatment options, and I've personally experienced profound healing from naturopathic treatment when Western doctors couldn't give me any answers, only prescriptions whose side effects impacted my life in such a negative way that I simply stopped taking the medications altogether. From anxiety and depression in my younger years to hair loss and fatigue in my 30s, I had to listen to the leading of the Lord, and every time I did, I discovered the answer. The treatments that not only removed my symptoms, but also treated the root cause of my illnesses through functional medicine and naturopathy, to which I am honored to call myself a practitioner. I truly believe that if we listen to the Lord's leading and we have faith, we can discover the root cause of most illnesses and discover healing. I've personally experienced it time and time again, and it's why I'm here. While I can't change whether your favorite doctor decides to retire or leave their practice, I can tell you how you can perhaps take control of your own health. Now, if you're feeling interested and led to, I invite you to book a consultation with me. Let's see if we can get you back on the path to healing your body and mind. I do primarily work with women, especially those who have experienced childhood trauma, so I may or may not be able to take you on as a patient. But I would love to chat and see if it's a good fit for both of us. I'll also be featuring more videos on this channel, not only on naturopathy, but also on topics related to trauma and recovery. So click to subscribe and comment if there was anything in this video that resonated with you, or if you have any questions.